Are there, okay, that was the next question. And then on the, I requested yesterday, you have a map with all of the arterial roads that you plan to repair. And we were told the local roads wouldn't be identified until after the bonds are voted on. And at that time, they would be identified and the type of road repair would be identified as well. The arterial roads, apparently that's the same condition because I asked for a list of those arterial roads, the mileage and the type of repair, which I think is very important for the voters to see. Right now, we're just giving them a map with marks all over it saying we're going to do all these roads, but they don't know if it's going to be a fog seal. They don't know how many miles, a mill and fill. And I think in the name of transparency, I don't know how you estimated these costs of these roads and why you wouldn't have the mileage and what type of repair you were planning until after the bond election, because I thought we were going to be very transparent. And we have the map, but the map doesn't give that information, which I think is very important for the voters to see. I know the people in my district would like to see it. So it was, the memo I received yesterday was these roads and the type of repairs are not going to be determined until after the bond election. I just want to be clear so that the voters in my district understand that, because typically the monies are swept out of District 1, and I want to make sure that people understand that this is a very strong possibility.
Madam Chair and Supervisor Miller, with regard to the map was actually constructed by using the tabular documents that you received in describing the roadway segment and then an ending point and a starting point. And the only thing that's missing is the mileage, which is easily tabulated by the same computer programs. The type of improvements are specified in the county unincorporated area. We have specified those specifically for each segment.
I was told I couldn't get it yesterday. I received a memo from Ms. Fife yesterday and said that it would be, and it says arterial roads, and it would be determined after the election.
They are all determined now. What has not been determined is that some of the jurisdictions have requested that they give their estimate now is what they would do, but they want to reserve the right of the jurisdiction to change it if in fact it changes from a fog seal to a chip seal because of a 5 or 6 year implementation period, or a change in traffic conditions, road conditions, or conditions on a particular highway.
So it stands that I'm not going to get the treatment type until after the bond election. That's what it says right at the top of the document I received yesterday. Arterial collectors. Treatment type is not listed as the final determination of treatment will be made at the time in which it will occur. So it's not going to be determined even right after the election. People aren't going to know exactly what they're going to get.
Madam Chair, Supervisor Miller, in the case of the unincorporated roads, the treatment types are well known. They can be added if that's a desire. We also know that the full amount of the bonds that are allocated to each jurisdiction are not sufficient to repair all of the roadways that require repair within the county.
So we have a list of arterials with a type of repair that's going to be done. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, we
As
do.
long as it's an unincorporated.
And I sent an email yesterday requesting that information to you, Mr. Huckleberry. And Ms. Fife responded and said it was going to be determined after the election. So
Yes.
can I get that?
Supervisor, Chairman, Madam Chair and Supervisor Miller, yes, you sent me the email on Sunday and we responded to you yesterday with the list.
Yeah,
and
you just have the type of repair.
list.
Yeah, so I appreciate the information that I asked for. And then there's, okay, that you covered that you would not sell any bonds if the project wasn't determined feasible. And you talk about the complexity of the capital infrastructure projects. And do we have any background documentation on how these project costs were estimated where the public can view them? Because we have dollar amounts, but we don't have any type of documentation and background. Do we have that information if someone requests it? Because I have had requests. How was this estimated? How are we going to do this?
Madam Chair, Supervisor Miller, if they requested, then we can provide what we have.
On a specific project.
Yes.
I don't want all the documentation.
And it may be conceptual. Obviously, it is at this level because there's no design.